Signs of victim mentality. Do you constantly feel as though you have no control over situations or that other people are out to get you? You are not alone. I feel you. Or do you also feel as though bad things keep happening to you no matter what you do? If you find yourself sometimes blaming other people for events or complaining about situations in your life, you may be struggling with what is known as victim mentality. So was I. Hi, this is Jyotika Bedi. I'm the founder of Happiness is Love. People with victim mentality feel as though bad things keep happening and the world is against them, and they keep thinking, why me? Why is this happening to me? What's wrong with me? Or what's wrong with others? You may feel as though everyone else is just against you. Be that your partner, your co-worker, your parents, family and friends. Even though there might be things that you can do to help fix this kind of thinking or situation, you don't take responsibility for anything and feel as though everything is just out of your control. I have been there. That's why I do the work that we do at Happiness is Love, because we are here to learn and grow. In addition, you may take things personally even when they are not directed at you. So did I. I would get defensive and personalize everything. You might think of thoughts like, what did I do to deserve this? You might also feel angry and resentful a lot of the time. So did I. Most likely you went through, let's say, a bad time in your life, or you experienced some form of trauma, but you had no coping strategies at that time and developed this unhealthy or unhelpful victim mentality. This led you to believe that life just happens to you and that you have no responsibility for what happens in your life. You might even question why you continue to behave in this way. The truth is that there are probably some secondary benefits of refusing to change your mindset, your victim mindset. You might be gaining sympathy or attention for your distress from what happened to you. This might be happening to you. You might feel relieved that others are offering you help or validation. You also probably don't ever want to feel vulnerable again, and so it's easier not to take those risks. Let's do a little bit of deep work, understanding the victim mentality. Taking a step back, what exactly is victim mentality? Without coming from a place of judgment or blame, while a victim mentality is not recognized, diagnosable condition, it is commonly accepted term and has some other alternative names such as victim syndrome, or let's call it victim complex. I work a lot with young adults and professionals. Those with the victim mentality hold these three core beliefs. Number one, bad things have happened in the past and they will continue to happen to me. Others are to blame for all my misfortune and mishaps. There is no point in trying to make any kind of change or challenge my core beliefs because it is not worth it. For people who hold a strong victim mentality, it seems like sinking into negativity is easier than trying to really save ourselves. And you may even force this mindset onto other people, and you're trying really hard to hold on to that negative narrative. At its core, at its heart, a victim mindset is rooted in our deep traumas, our distress and pain most of the time. When we experience a traumatic event, a situation typically at the hands of other people, you may learn that you are helpless and that nothing you do in the future is going to make any difference. And I feel for you. I know it's hard. I've been there. I know it's very difficult. However, we have to do the hard work of taking responsibility. This leads you to feel more vulnerable and afraid. And in turn, you choose not to take responsibility and Instead, you place blame on other people or the situation and make excuses when there are actions that you can take, because what happened to you is not your responsibility. Healing is your responsibility. So what is a victim mentality permanently? What does it mean? While it's understandable that you might feel this way after a traumatic series of events, I've been there so I know. The truth is that there are always multiple factors involved in any, let's say, bad situation. While you may not have been able to control what happened to you in the past, I understand that. It's likely that you do have some degree of control over what happens to you going forward. Think about that. And let me explain with a simple example. For example, if you've been trying to find a job without any success, there is opportunity to learn from what hasn't worked for you so that you can try and make some positive changes for the future. So instead of thinking, why me? What's wrong with me? Why does this happen to me? In contrast, someone with a victim mindset will have little interest in taking actions that could lead to improvement. What has this come to teach me? How can I grow from this experience? What do I need to do differently? In addition, when other people try to help you, you might retreat into self-pity and argue that nothing will work. In other words, you really just want to feel sorry for yourself, play the victim, rather than doing the hard work or the work towards any meaningful change. I know change is hard. It's difficult, but it's not impossible. While it's okay to feel bad about what has happened to you, I feel for you, and make sure to work through those difficult or those unpleasant emotions. Everyone with a victim mindset needs to find an end to this self-sabotage, this self-pity, which is not serving you, and work towards positive change and inner healing. Otherwise, your feelings of being a victim and being powerless will follow you for the rest of your life, because you are capable of change. The truth is that life will never stop giving you those challenges. And if you feel as though nothing you do makes any differences, then you'll be climbing an uphill battle the rest of your life. One of the most common signs of victim mentality that I have experienced in my personal and professional life is continued self-sabotage and not challenging negative thoughts and negative patterns. The good news is that it is not an inherited trait. Rather, you have learned to behave in this way. It's a learned trait, and you can learn a new skill. At one time, you were likely a victim, but you don't have to continue being a victim. You can change your story. You can change your life's narrative. You can rewrite your story. A victim blames others for their current situation, for their challenges, even when others have nothing to do with it. And they themselves are to blame. This happens sometimes, or at least partially to blame. Yes, your rights were violated, your needs were unheard, and you didn't deserve what happened to you. I am with you. You deserve empathy. You deserve compassion. You deserve deep understanding. And you can give these things to yourself without just waiting for anyone else to give it to you. This is the greatest gift that I gave myself. So I want you to be cognizant of those signs of victim mentality. What are those signs of victim mentality that you can pick up for yourself and for others? If you aren't sure whether you are struggling with a victim mentality, here are some very simple potential signs to watch out for, just red flags. You blame others for how your life is going. You feel as though everything is stacked against you all the time. You have trouble coping with setbacks and failures. You have a negative attitude going on in most situations. You're not able to practice positive thinking. When someone actually tries to help you, you lash out with anger and judgment. When you feel sorry for yourself, it makes you feel a bit better. You You tend to hang out with other people who also like to complain and blame others because it's familiar, it's comfortable. You find it hard to make changes in your everyday life. You feel like you lack support, especially from those around you. You lack self-confidence or even experience low self-esteem. You feel like others should recognize that you have been a victim. You want the people who have done you wrong to recognize what they actually did to you. You have a very black and white view of other people. It's difficult for you to see the different shades of gray. You sometimes lack empathy for other people's problems. You tend to ruminate about situations. You are passive when you go about your day. You don't speak up. You think that the world is just too unfair a place. You are sometimes hyper-vigilant to bad things that might happen. You are not emotionally available to other people sometimes. You feel as though failing is permanent. You have a constant feeling of hopelessness and helplessness. You have a tendency to catastrophize. You feel as though other people are better off in life than you. What are some of the victim mentality behaviors? You might be wondering, what is victim mentality behavior really? It refers to the types of behaviors and actions that people with victim mentality tend to often engage in without being mindful, without being aware. So what are the behaviors that people with a victim mentality tend to engage in? I would like to share with you some common ones that you might have observed, that I have also observed. A tendency to blame other people for all the wrong that happens, not taking responsibility for the part that you play, being hyper-vigilant about people and reacting to small things in a big way, being very aware of when people have bad intentions. Also, feeling as though everyone else has it much easier than you, and so you just don't try. Feelings of relief when you receive that pity or sympathy, and seeking this out as a result of our victim mentality attitude. I'd also like to share, additionally, what are the attitudes that go along with victim mentality? And here are some of the attitudes to watch out for in yourself and in others. Feeling overly pessimistic about the future. You're not able to see hope, light, brightness at the end of the tunnel. Feelings of repressed anger and resentment. Feeling as though you are just entitled to sympathy from others all the time. Feeling defensive no matter what other people say. Feeling as though there is just no point in looking for solutions or looking at the silver lining or finding positive solutions. Seeing people as black and white or just good or bad and bad. Being unwilling to take risks. Exaggerating the risks of situations or how bad they really could turn out. So again, thinking of worst case scenarios all the time. Putting yourself down all the time. A feeling of learned helplessness. Victim mindset beliefs that I want you to be careful about. Consider the beliefs that are held by someone with a victim mindset, and this may be you. And I want to share with you some common core beliefs you might be holding, or you might hold if you have this type of mindset and you're not aware. In a way, this is very much a mindset of learned helplessness. Bad things are always happening to me. This might be a core belief. There's no point in trying to change because I can't do anything about what is happening to me because life is against me. People are against me. I am deserving of only bad things that happen to me. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Nobody cares about me or what has happened to me. I have no choice about what happens to me. Life is just happening to me. I don't know what to do to change things. I must just accept what happens to me because I deserve only bad things. I can't make changes in my life no matter how hard I try. You might be thinking, what are the causes of a victim mentality? What causes someone to have this victim mentality? And let's talk about it. Common causes can include experiences of past trauma where this mindset was developed as a coping mechanism. So instead of judging yourself or others, let's understand the cause. Why? Multiple negative situations happened where you had no sense of control. Ongoing emotional pain that makes you feel helpless or trapped so that you give up. Having someone betrayed your trust in the past that makes you feel like you can't trust people going forward. This could also happen especially with a parent or even a partner. Secondary gain after the initial period, example, making others feel guilty so that you get attention. What are the outcomes of a victim mentality? What are some of the outcomes of having a victim mentality, you might be thinking? And this is very useful to know. Below are some of the most common outcomes that I have experienced that I would like to share that may result if you persist in having this mentality. And these are as follows. Feelings of guilt, shame, even depression. Feeling frustrated with the world. Feeling hurt and that people don't really care about you. Feeling resentful of other people who are successful or people who may be happier. Feeling depressed, isolated or lonely most of the times. Having relationship issues or problems at work because others feel manipulated or blamed. Feeling bad about yourself or engaging in self-destructive behaviors sometimes. Feeling as though you thrive on drama and refusing to make changes when you face setbacks. Constant negative emotions such as fear, sadness, and anger encircle you. It may take you a long time to trust a therapist, a coach, or authority figures. The next question that you might have popping in your head, but how? How to really stop this victim mentality if you've been able to recognize it? If you identify with all the signs or most of the signs and symptoms of having a victim mindset, you might be wondering how to really get yourself into a better frame of mind. So here I have with you my toolbox, some strategies, some tips to help you cope better, to move forward to a better, healthier mindset. Are you ready? Choose to either leave situations or accept them. Speak out to reclaim your power to change a situation. Learn to speak your mind out respectfully. Read self-help books. I read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. It changed my life forever. Learn forgiveness. Forgive yourself or others who have harmed you. Do not accept, rather forgive, to reduce the trauma and your responses. Find help from a therapist or coach who can help you process your past trauma and help you in your healing journey. Develop your own emotional intelligence. Learn to take responsibility for what you can control in a life situation and how you can choose to respond and not react. Take control over who you want to spend your time with. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who are there for you, who will support you. Engage in self-care to treat yourself compassionately and with kindness. Engage in self-love actions and behaviors and seeing yourself as a worthwhile person. You can even engage in journaling habits to release those unhealthy emotions that you're holding on to. Start to say no to things that don't align with your values or what you want in your life. It's a superpower to learn to say no and build skills. Make yourself a priority, reparent yourself. Take care of how much energy you spend. Give yourself the love that you truly deserve. Identify personal goals that you can start working towards. Figure out how to get the same benefits you have been getting with a victim mindset. Example, self-care and self-love. Practice more gratitude for what you already have in your life. Gratitude is very, very powerful. Do you Know someone who has this victim mentality? How do you plan to support them? This could even be you. I hope the tips, techniques, and strategies that I've shared with you found them helpful. Please comment below. We at Happiness is Love are here for you because we care and we are here. Keep smiling, keep shining, keep learning and growing. Together we are stronger. Together we are better. Stay tuned for more.